I'd like to call this January 15th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Public Safety to order.
Are we having an executive session first?
We already did.
You already did.
I missed the executive session.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Son of a
was
gun.
exciting.
Did it go well?
It went well.
Nice.
Went real good.
Sorry about that.
All right, certification of the executive session. Motion to certify the executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, next, approval of consent agenda. The consent agenda for this morning contains the following items. Approval of minutes from December 18th, 2025 regular session. Approval of claims from December 22nd, 2025 to January 16th, 2026. Approval of payroll from December 24th, 2025 and January 9th, 2026. Does any member of the board wish to have any one or more of these items removed from the consent agenda to be discussed separately?
I'm sorry, I was talking. But
Anybody?
I'm fine with not
Okay.
going through it separately.
And Russell? Are you fine with?
I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Hearing none, does any member of the board have any objections to any of the items on the consent agenda?
No.
Nope. And hearing none, the items on the consent agenda are approved. And now we'll go to police department business.
This is how we finished out the year. Sarah, if you could kill off that bottom down there. We ended about, what, 5.9%, almost 6% increase in call volume over the preceding year, which had trended up from the year before that. End of the year crime comparison totals, I'll give you a moment with this because they're all comparatively with each other now, rather than increasing as we had seen. Most of our categories, well, I can't even say that. Some of the categories trended up, some of them trended down, depending upon
I was surprised graffiti went down. Graffiti's the last column, right? The last row.
it is. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, graffiti is sometimes miscoded as vandalism,
Oh.
depending upon what it is. So,
But that's down too. So.
yeah, they try and break those down the best they can.
That 22% decline in the larceny is something that stands out.
That's pretty significant.
The operating while intoxicated, does the enforcement of that become a factor? In other words, do you report it when it's identified and cited?
When it's arrested.
When it's arrested,
When it's an
okay.
arrestable charge, yes.
And so do those numbers reflect an increase in monitoring that? In other words, people are watching for
No, I mean,
intoxication?
yes and no. I mean, you are always watching for it.
Sure.
But a lot of it reflects just who got stopped for what at that point in time.
Okay.
I mean, you may be behind a car that runs a automatic signal, and
Yeah.
you stop it, and the person's intoxicated. Versus you might stop the next 10 cars going through that same intersection, same light, and none of them are intoxicated.
Okay.
I won't say it's luck of the draw, but it's also having more cars available to do traffic enforcement during the time where OWI would be prevalent.
Sure.
I would love to tell you that's just night shift anymore, but it's not.
Right.
We see it on all three shifts, and quite frankly, second shift is seen, which is between 1:30 and 10, seen a noticeable uptick. So I really can't tell you exactly what caused that. That number, though, is not that far out of, although there's a 33% change, we're talking 34 cars.
Yeah, right.
So
Are there a lot more after the games?
honestly, no, and I'll be blunt, because after the games, we're running all over the place with everything else in the world, so yeah, we may have some accidents that
That's a
creep
good time
up.
to get. No.
Good time to drive home, drive.
Well, the good thing about after the games is there's so much traffic, you're not going very far.
That's
You're
true.
going 5 feet, stop, 5 feet, stop.
Yeah.
And that sounds horrible to say that's good, but it's better than a wide open freeway. So, traffic stops declined just a little bit. Calls involving weapons, however, showed a noticeable decrease. Something we're pretty proud of that the officers have been working diligently on, particularly if you'll notice the huge decrease from 2023 on. That has been a focus of the patrol division and the detective division with some special details and special enforcement areas that has really made a noticeable dent in this. Adult arrest, again, month by month. As December starts to get cold, we'll start to see fewer people outside. So you don't see as many arrests. You still see the same ones that happen inside. And juvenile referrals likewise. Hate crimes, this was the end of the reporting period, and we had 0. Our traditional nuisance call pie chart remains the same. And our training hours. December training hours, 335 and a half, 42 completed an active shooter training course at Ivy Tech, 30 completed firearms training, 3 detectives at Internet Crimes Against Children, the annual conference, 10 officers completed the TASER 10 virtual reality training, 3 officers attended firearms and tactical medical course, 1 officer attended an 8-hour mastering proactive policing training, and CERT had 12 officers for 8 hours each. Community engagement events, 7, 32 and a half hours, 16 personnel involved, and you can see what they were there. The Pacers thing was very well attended. That was a good time. And the Continuing Forever Friends is our upcoming one. Social workers had 91 contacts. They spent a lot of time this month with individuals. You can see some of their achievements there. Participated in Home Instead Be Santa to a senior program, assisted with wrapping and delivering gifts, assisted an elderly client that had really no services to her house whatsoever, and they were able to get electricity and gas back on her home, back in her home before the weather set in. I think she was even without water, wasn't she?
I don't think she had anything.
Yeah, I think she had no services whatsoever. They facilitated some psychological evaluations for a client that was struggling, and he definitely had some issues that they were able to help with. The new dispatcher, the new social worker in dispatch was able to successfully assist an elderly client who was a domestic battery victim. They were able to reunite him with family out of state. Same dispatch, social worker assisted an individual to find housing and some mental health support. The ORs continued downtown, really making life easier for some folks they can encounter, supported a recently housed client adjusting to her new life with stable housing. Got the family to come visit her for Christmas, something that hadn't happened for quite a bit. Anything to add on that?
No, I just know that was something they were very proud of. And as was the client, that they were able to get into housing, having the family come and actually have a place for them to gather for Christmas, I think was something that was pretty special for them.
And general business.
All right. Question,
Yes.
can we lump all of them together or do one
I
individual?
always want you to do them individually, just so
Okay.
there's no confusion.
Okay.
Make sure that everybody sees a clean record that we actually approved
Yeah,
for each and every one of them.
okay, that sounds good. All right, can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Zachary Brock contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes. And can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Cade Lindsay contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
Second.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Dustin Carpenter, contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Stephen Hatton Jr., contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Andrew Weeks, contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
I second that.
Okay, have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Harrison Fleetwood, contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Dylan Irwin, contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Can I get a motion for conditional offer of employment for Tyler McLaughlin, contingent upon the applicant successfully completing the remaining steps in the hiring process?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, and that's all of them.
Thank you.
Hope you all accept.
Yeah.
As far as expenditures procurements, we had some end of the year items come up. None of them were hugely expensive. Just some equipment needs that were being addressed at the end of the year. As far as the CERT ARV report, there was one ARV deployment this month, and that was for a barricaded individual up on North Smith Pike as an assist to the Sheriff's Department.
Fire department is not.
She definitely was in the lobby. Let me see if I can go find her.
I went and took a peek in the hall and didn't see her.
She was sitting at the
I may
table.
have forgotten to add the election chair and vice chair under new business on the
Okay, you can still
slideshow.
do it.
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, I don't remember if I put it on the slideshow.
Russell, do you want to be chair?
How much does it pay?
It's
It pays
pay for getting
$50,000 a year, and you get a personal bodyguard from the police department and a driver.
Wow.
That bike would be nice. I put a lift up the other day. I took my whole pay for this week.
I'm here to do whatever you want me to do, so,
Well, I didn't think you've been chair before.
what's that?
Have you been chair before?
Of this group? No.
Yeah, okay.
I think, Tim, you're on your second stint.
First,
This is still the first one?
Mhm.
Okay. So, yeah,
No.
that'll be easy. There you are.
Well, I was down at the, down in the lobby.
You don't know what you missed.
Pardon me?
You don't know what you missed.
Oh, I missed all the good stuff. Well,
I
fantastic.
think it was recorded. I think you could watch it later.
Oh, I think that's what I was looking at. All right, well, great. Okay, what is our year-end total for the year? 6,745 runs, and then the breakdown on which ones we have. So the EMS is our one of our largest. Is about 30 to 40% of our overall runs, rescue and EMS. So we have that. The month total for December was 475. 5 years ago in 2020, December was 319 runs. So we've gone up about 33% in 5 years for December. Year to date, though, 40% increase in 5 years. In 2020, we were at 4,066 runs. So just giving you some year-end statistics there. So, and then, of course, we're more in the city than we are in anywhere else. And then IU, like I said, off the chart on both for false alarms and rescue EMS. And this does include a lot of elevators, just saying. So, but IU, like I said, their highest category is the false alarms, and they had 487 for the year. So, and so that's we're getting 2 fire scenes on time. So this is when we talk about first due. We want the first engine on scene in under 240 seconds. Hotspots. So you can see where the red dots are where we go quite a bit. So. Fire inspection. So our goal was 2,250, and we got to 1168. So 52% in the inspections.
Is the goal for this year?
It will
that high
still
again?
be 2250.
Okay.
And this is a number that we've chosen basically because the city doesn't know how many businesses actually there are in our documentation that from our record management system has about 3,800, so we thought our goal would be get to 2/3 of that, but roughly, and you can see that we're not quite
it's a high
making
goal,
that.
yeah,
Yes, it is a high goal, so something to strive for. And like I said, and we, anyway, I could go on. Some of it's a staffing issue, right? So we need more inspectors. Our inspectors are tasked with a lot of different things. So, but you can see community engagement. The inspectors started tracking that this year, so in May, and it seemed to generally it trends upward every month, which is good. We had 80 smoke detectors installed. Our goal is 100, so we got to, 80% of that. And then we, like I said, we've got our education numbers are the dark blues, so, or the 2025 stuff, so. Training, so this year, we exceeded our goal, which is, we average 30, our goal is 30 to 35 hours per month per individual, and so we got 116% of the goal. December is a catch-up month, and that is where we catch anyone who reported their hours after we'd already run the monthly statistics. So, but you can see that the vendor came and did training for the new Ladder 4, which was good. So anyone who was even remotely expected to drive that got some time with the rep to get them some. Every engine has its quirks, right? So they like to share that in advance. Wildland refresher, and that is, forest fires and grass fires and the, what do they call it? The wildland urban interface. So anytime you have forestry and urban areas that meet up together, they call it the interface. So, and then like I said, Monroe Fire, they used our facility down at the tower to do their aerial course, and then like I said, we were completing all our stuff, our requirements. So it was busy. So MIH, so we looked at, they got their 515th referral to the program. The referrals, we were looking at our year-end stuff, about 90 to 95% of the referrals actually make use of the offered services. So it's a pretty good number there. So we have, we had installed 5 car seats, 62 for the year. Average visits per patient, 13.4, and different services that were engaged this month: hospital, shelter, community center, housing, utilities, mental health, case management, and primary medical were the services that were engaged, and the different agencies have that. So we can see we helped get some MIH families Christmas dinner stuff, and then we helped somebody get their negotiate to keep their house, so kept them in their home. So it was good. So, any questions on anything so far? No? Okay, we did not have any general business. And personnel, we have 2 off on light duty, 1 off on FMLA, 6 are off on parental leave, and it is intermittent. And that's what we get for having a young department. No,
I was gonna say.
it's okay.
And intermittent's hard to schedule.
Yeah, it is, and they get to do that. And we have this, by April, we anticipate 3 retirements, and we've had 3 resignations, and we're scheduling our hiring with HR right now. So, anything else? This would be someone else's. Get that back to Sarah.
Any old business? No. New business. We do have new business. And that is election of the new chair for 2026. Are there any nominations for the chair of the Board of Public Safety for 2026? I nominate Russell.
I second that nomination.
All in favor? Aye. Congratulations.
Oh, no, but
Thrilled.
What?
Russell, did you say yes or no to that nomination?
I'll accept it.
Did you say aye? Okay. There was a lot going on, I couldn't hear what you said.
It's still gonna be 2-1 anyway.
I know, I wanted the record to be reflected correctly in the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any nominations for Vice Chair of the Board of Public Safety for 2026?
I nominate Tim.
Okay, and,
Second that nomination.
all right, we got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And that's
Very
that.
good. Very good.
And so that's all the new business. Oh, but one thing I did hear, I was down on Kirkwood and talking to one of the bar managers down there. Great idea that you guys went by and said, hey, only serve plastic cups and things like that. And
We've been here
apparently it really, really helped out.
Remove trash cans from,
If it's not
Or is
bolted
that-
down,
or
it's
is-
getting moved
yeah, that hasn't happened yet, but those are the plans, right?
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, tomorrow.
That's
Start
good.
removing things that can get tossed and hide things in, and
Does anyone
We're hoping
trash
that
it?
4 degrees
then
will
you clean it up.
Mhm.
cut both ways, yes.
Yeah, hopefully next year they'll keep Kirkwood closed until Signetti and his boys are done trashing everyone in the country.
It's hard to get there.
Hopefully. All right, petitions, communications, anybody? Nope, anybody on the
Is
internet?
anybody on the internet?
Hello?
I forgot one thing that I should have mentioned, and that is,
That's just the AI.
yeah.
Yeah.
With our financial stuff, we have the ongoing bond projects, the training logistics down in South Walnut, so we're supposed to be under roof next month.
Wow.
We're not already. And then they are moving forward with the purchase of a fire engine pumper, $678,000, 272, right? So they're able to secure it before a significant price increase, and it's available for immediate delivery, which is not something they've ever really encountered when getting.
Usually
a new
we're building
engine.
them
You're
with
getting
our own
your specs.
specifications from the
Yes.
ground up, right?
Right.
It takes a year.
Well, plus now, they're easily two to 3 years out now.
Yeah, oh,
So
gosh.
So when you're looking at it, and because of the, potential change in our funding, this is available now, and that may not be the case when the
Yes.
spec engine would be ready, so, we're getting that now, so.
Good.
You will see that in Chief Little, just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that he likes to announce such things to you guys, so. And that's all, for real.
That's it. No communications or petitions. So I call this January 15th, 2026 meeting adjourned.